do you dream of? What are your aspirations? What inspires you to take action every day to live your dreams? For me, it's acting. I love being an actor. My name is Michelle, and I am an actor, a producer, a creator, and an overall inspirer in the universe. In the context of our journey, we are dealing with so many different things that sometimes your goals, if they're not here and you don't see them, you kind of lose sight of them. One of my dreams one day is to walk past here and see my name on like one of these billboards. Today, I'm going to meet up with some friends and tell them all about this idea, and hopefully, which I'm sure, they're going to love to want to be on camera and introduce you into our world. Banja, it's Michelle. Do you remember I called you and I told you about the project? We're going to let the world into our world. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool. I was just getting ready to work out on the treadmill.
Is Lucius okay with that?
I guess he's sleeping right now.
He's sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
On this journey, these feet walk before they become famous. The bare bones of an actor. All that we are, and we hope that you will enjoy the journey. On New Year's Day, I was really getting a little frustrated with, how things were going. So I kind of was like, why not let the audience, see what we do?
Still asking what I'm going to do about my hair.
There's some people that wish they were actors, so instead they cast. There's people in there like that.
I don't want to sign with you and then be stuck. They never know what they want.
I was really excited about this audition. I thought, wow, this is my second audition after the new year. Wow, big stuff? Yeah, right. All right, girl, come on. I dare you. I challenge you. I inspire you to go out and live your dreams, just as I'm living my dreams with my friends.
My reasons for becoming a performer are very ennobled. They're not noble at all. I saw my brother in a play in the 7th grade in middle school, and all the girls were all going, "Ooh, look at Gary!" And I was like, "What? I'm way better than him at that." So I went into a drama class and I told the teacher that I could do well, and she said, "Okay." And it turned out I could. The first play, the girls said, "Yeah!" And so I really, from that moment on, I realized a couple of things.
The life of an artist is a life that really asks you to be sort of a dual person. The person that you have to be is a person who is sort of self-motivated and self-absorbed and always checking in to yourself. So you're always in your head, but at the same time, if you have family responsibilities, you also have to, separate that out and make sure that you are not just taking care of your family physically, but that you allow yourself to give your family your emotional time too.
The focus on that story is determined by your commitment to your focus to the story. So that's how it started.
I wanted to be an actor since I was 5, but I don't know, what pushed me, because my parents definitely did. Because they wanted me, because my parents old school, and they were, you got to have a profession other than that, because you don't know if you're going to make any money as an actor. But, I kind of always pursued it. I kind of always loved it. And I think I kind of always pushed myself to do it. If I can be an animal, I would probably be a bird. I just think birds are free and take flight. So I consider myself taking flight sometimes. I think I would be a bird. One of the things I like as an actor too, and a lot of actors think I'm crazy, but I love the rehearsal process. I love it. I love being in rehearsal. I mean, I love that more than, well, I love that just as much as being on stage. The rehearsal process for me is where you start to discover, where you start to learn, and I can't stand working with actors who don't like that process because, you know, they don't give you anything. I always wanted to do it. It was in my blood. It was a gift and a talent that was given to me. I remember being in a play singing a snake song like you, and it was something about wiggling and wiggling about. That's all I remember, but you know, I remember that.
I didn't form a lick in my life till I was like 30 years old. So 9 years ago, I was actually at a Giant game with my friends, and go Giants, by the way, playoffs. The playoffs. I was just making them laugh. We were having a lot of beers, and somebody said, "Dude, you should try comedy sometime," you know, something like that. And it was pretty much a dare, you know, and I tried it. We were just doing horrible. We were just bombing totally, and it was a benefit show. You figure these people were here to help people, and it was just horrible. And somehow, eventually, I wound up turning the audience in my favor and wound up having a great show, which I totally didn't anticipate. So even though it's something that no one ever saw probably or was going to really know about, it was about 6 years ago, and that's when I really said to myself, I can do this. I can, and whatever adverse situations that come, I can, you know, overcome it. Just that feeling of going on stage and getting any reaction at all, even though it was a bad one. I said, what if I do good? How much better will that feel?
I was 5 years old the first time I stepped on stage. I remember my teacher coming to me and asking me if I wanted to be in a play, and I was like, sure, why not? Whatever that was. Just standing on the stage and coming to the realization that, wow, this is amazing and this is where I want to be. I can't even tell you how incredible that feeling was. And I remember my dad was a school detective and his badge number was 007. I want to be the next 007. I want to be Jane Bond. I didn't want to be the Bond chick because, you know, I don't consider myself this beauty. I was like a little tomboy, you know, I'd be out in the park and stuff in my dress with my little shorts on underneath playing baseball and climbing the trees like a monkey, like a boy. So for me, I wanted to be the next 007. Our brothers made me do push-ups on my knuckles. I had to do push-ups on my knuckles, so I was not like the prissy girl that I am right now. Like, I love being a prissy girl, but there's still that tomboy person in me. I was in excruciating pain. I stood on set for 15 hours without letting on that my character was in pain. My character didn't have a torn meniscus, so I couldn't have a torn meniscus. That's what acting is about. The art of being normal under abnormal circumstances.
You guys write down goals? You believe in goals?
I really believe in goals. I think what I try to do is, like, I do 3 months for the 12. So usually it helps me with goals because I do a variety of things, you know. So I have to be very clear about what I want these months to look like because it's a juggling act.
Right.
And like just keeping it all in my head or not having a specific outcome just is draining.
Sometimes, you know, working with a business coach isn't the worst thing in the world.
I've been coaching for about, and I don't want to give away my age, but around 20 years. I work with artists, particularly people in the entertainment industry, but actors, writers, directors, designers, and then I do work in corporate fields. So in the corporations I get to bring in all that I've learned from artists. I mean, one of the things is that, you know, it's a hard economy out there right now. Well, artists have been used to that, so
Oh, well, let me see you act it. Let me see you act. I need more discipline. I mean, I write down my goals and then I forget, and then I might see them 2 years later what I wrote down last year. Right now I'm working on a vision board because people were saying that's helpful. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't know if I would ever hire a coach because it's my financial thing right now. Being an artist, a starving artist, I can't afford it.
the business is hard. And so it's important that you carry, in essence, an audience with you. And that can can be, having a coach, having a support group, having a book. I tell people that they need to set their goals and then they need to revisit it quarterly. So I intentionally made that book like a workbook so that you can come back and, check in. So if you can't necessarily afford the coach,
right,
that's obviously an inexpensive option.
I don't ever write it down because I feel like if I write it down and if I don't achieve them, it's like failure. But I have them in my head, but I've never ever written them down. If you have a few extra dollars, you may as well invest it into that career. I think everybody really can use a business coach, no matter how successful you are.
I really wanted to help people. It was really important to me that wasn't at the cost of a great life.
I heard you called the office the other day, and
yes, I am such a great actor, I'm telling you.
There's such a belief that actors have to struggle.
I want your iPhone, iPad, I want your dreams, I want my motivation for my character.
Struggling actors aren't that attractive.
True.
Miss Foreman, you know I didn't mean nothing. I just want to be on the show.
Security! Security!
Show!
Declare your goal, making a plan, getting a life, those specifics, and say, how are you doing in each one of those areas? But the other way to do it is if you're really looking at your life, say, what are the areas that are most important to you?
The things that I'm driven or focused to, I don't need anything for that.
I ask people to do is to create a pie chart, split it up in 8 pieces. Spend some time saying, in those areas that are flat, I'm going to put some extra attention. I do a class called Audition Interview Dynamite, and in that class we do type work. It's really for you to understand what your strengths are as an artist. Having to really network well, being able to bring yourself optimally to interviews, presenting yourself publicly.
Artists have a hard time conforming to that idea, and I think what you teach us is that the business part is what also has to be, manifested. You have to plant your seeds.
One of my favorite stories is a client who auditioned for a project and they told her she was going to get called back. She didn't hear anything about it. A friend who was a colleague in the foursome said, well, you should call them and say, so I understood I was going to call back. It's a great project. I'm really excited about it. I wanted to check in and see where you were on the project. And she said, I can't do that. The girl called for her, as her, and said it was a mistake. She should have been called back. She landed that job. She had the lead in the show. The book 7 Keys to Success Without Struggle. One of the keys is get a life.
You just can't be stuck in the bubble and think, okay, I'm gonna be an actor and I'm just gonna do everything that I need to do to be an actor, and then you forget all that other stuff that you have to kind of throw in the pot to make yourself, like you said, the sellable product.
The funny thing about being an actor is if you don't have a life, what are you going to call on as an actor?
Exactly.
You have no drama to bring into
no
you.
life experience. I love that 5-minute success, at the end of the year.
Sometimes we get lost in the end of year it seems too much to evaluate the whole year, but just to touch base and to realize how you've grown and how it's opened you up for the future is important.
You're like the mama coach. I'm going to tell you now that you have touched my life in a way that sometimes words don't, come to play, which is why I had to have you on our show, and Actors Like the series.
And we did talk about that in our coaching. This
yes,
sort of flowered. It did blossom there, so it's very exciting to be part of this flowering.
It was just so challenging getting it going and being able to see the goal that I wrote, that I spoke with you, and then now I said, oh my God, it's finally happening.
What's better than that?
What is better than that? Nothing.
Career Life Coach for the Creative Seed Career Life Coaching.
There's no stops. There's no can'ts. There's no won'ts. There's no don'ts in my world. I will keep moving and moving and moving until the man upstairs tells me it's time to go. I was making a lot of money. It was really good money.
How much money?
It was like $65,000 a year money. But I was sick. Every day I would come to work and I would throw up. I had a horrible boss, so I had to say, do I want to, get up every day and come to this? I mean, what is this? The bills are paid and that was great,
But I was so unhappy. I called the temp agency and I was like, listen, I need to get away from where I'm at. And they must have thought I was crazy because I'm leaving a full-time, good paying job to be a temp. I've been temping for the last 7 years.
Wow. I'm gonna just tell you a real life. It's like I was in a bad marriage to a military man out in San Diego. He was fucked up. Okay, I know you're gonna cut that out. I don't care. And I was in a bad marriage. He was too old to start as a private. You know, we lived in a situation where everybody was getting beat, but trust me, he did not touch me because I would not be here talking right now. I'd be sitting somewhere in the penitentiary. You gotta really know what your goals are. You gotta really know what you want, you know. And I was in that discovery stage where I really didn't know what I want. Psychologically, he tried to beat me down. And I said to myself, if I can ever escape this, you know, I'm gonna pursue my art. Because this is not the natural flow of things. This is not what I was created for. This is not what God wanted for me. This is not what I want for myself.
Right.
I had to get up out of there. When I came back to New York for a long time, I was like on my grind, on my grind, on my grind, on my grind. You made me think about, you know, that defining moment when I said enough is enough.
You're butting a seat in terms of going to the movie theater. It's like, oh wow, this person is so gorgeous. And they're not necessarily talented because it's not always about your talent. And that's another reason why I wanted to do this show, because so many of us are so talented and we never get to that level, that next level.
Ken Burmeister, actor, writer, comedian.
Benja K. Thomas. I am an actress. I'm a writer, director. I'm becoming a photographer.
Daniel Carlton. I'm an actor, a storyteller, writer, and a director.
Getting this gangster attitude is like, look, I'm talented, I have a vision and a talent to share with you, and this is who I am, and we don't care. We are going to be saying we don't care if you like us or not, because this is who we are. People are going to love us, and there's people that are not going to love us. I told you I'm recording something. Could you give me 5 minutes? You messed it up. Thanks. Yeah.